So I'm Zheng-Herb. I sometimes I draw things. Does that about sum it up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that's what I do. This is Sarah Herb, my sister. Um, Basically, she's responsible for the future of mankind. Basically, what she does is she takes a bunch of kids and she puts them all in the same room, and then she just talks to them about stuff like history and math and stuff like that. That's what she does.
Yep, that's what I do.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. Let's start this painting here. So yeah, this one I just kind of start with slapping paint down all over the place. Not doing a line drawing or anything, because I just knew I wanted to paint something for Halloween, and I didn't really know what. So I'm trying to get the mood down right here. Just making colors, like you do. Pretty,
Nice.
pretty thrilling stuff, really.
I like your bright blue.
That's actually gonna change, but yeah, I like that blue too. So now it's like green,
Oh, not green.
and eventually that goes away too. But we don't want to spoil that yet. We're gonna keep the surprise. So yeah, here I kind of like saw something in the shapes that I sort of like. I kind of like that big swoop, kind of going into the canvas, and they can't see my hands doing this, but like it kind of swoops around from the bottom right corner, like that. And I like that shape, so I started making that into like a road and putting a spooky house for for spooking people. Yeah, pretty exciting.
Did you have to make new brushes for this painting?
Nope, I was just using my trusty old Zweihander. I'm I named all my brushes after swords. Did I tell you that last time?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I have the broadsword is my regular flat round brush. The Zweihander is that kind of squarish brush I'm using for most of this. It's nice and clean, but has a little bit of opacity on it. When I press lightly, it's the one that gets just a little bit softer around the edges. So it's it's pretty much my favorite. Some of them I haven't named yet, but like my thin brush for making like more like drawing strokes is my cutlass, I think.
Oh, nice. Do you
Yeah,
have a scimitar?
I don't. That'd be a good one though.
That'd be a good
As I
one.
keep adding, I used to. I think I had a bunch of brushes that were all named after Adventure Time characters. That was awesome too.
I like the swords though. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And then I have like my brush arsenal. I can choose the correct weapon for the right job, like you do when you're painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that green stuff supposed to be water?
It's some kind of oozy spook water.
Um.
Yeah. That's very specifically what that color is. If you go into Photoshop into the swatches, that's labeled oozy spook water green.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I'm not sure that I totally like the value range on that house. The highlights are just a little weird.
Mm.
You seeing that?
Yeah.
And they stick around for the final painting. I don't know. I should have made them like just a little bit brighter on the edge, but had less highlights. Right now, it kind of looks like it's snow covered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now there's wires. Wires are fun. If a painting's ever boring, just put some wires in there.
You're golden.
Yeah, wires are great. This one's also a bit shorter than the last one. It's only gonna run for like 15 minutes because it's a much shorter painting.
See.
I didn't get in there and detail anything out. I just
Mm.
kind of left it all smooched. That's a technical term. You'd have to take at least 3 years, I'd say, of art school to understand what smooshed means. I mean, you can understand it in a basic sense in one, but to fully grasp what
Full
smooshed
meaning of it.
really is,
Mm.
it takes quite a few years. Here I'm just adjusting stuff. It's still really early on in the painting, so all these adjustments are alright, I guess. It like pretty much just keeps getting darker and darker. I think I lightened it up a little bit near the end, because right now it's a little bit dark.
It is a little hard to see stuff.
Yeah. But it's supposed to be spooky dark,
Right. That's Halloween.
because of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to see this painting, and I want their very souls to be completely terrified. Mm-hmm. I want this painting to curse people for several generations. Like years down the line, they'll be like, why is our family cursed? And be like, well, this guy looked at this picture on the internet.
Well, I like the red.
Yeah, that's the magics happening at the house, but like bad, evil witch magics.
Red juju.
Yeah,
Does the red flow down into the green?
I guess so. It's sort of like a crack. Like the house is like kind of cracking apart, and there's this ominous red glow that does something bad, probably.
That's cool.
Here I'm putting in a moon. I always like putting in a moon.
That's cool.
See, here I decided to make the moon way smaller than I usually do. And that's just because it makes the painting feel a little bit bigger. If you put in a small detail like that, instead of the moon being cartoonishly oversized like I usually do. I don't know. Cool stuff like that. Little figures, little birds.
Nice touch.
Makes the painting look larger than it is.
Makes sense.
I forget who the artist was, but he made a book called Mass, and it was really cool. It was just all about, well, it was just a bunch of paintings by him that looked really big. It was cool. It was very pretty and colorful. Now I'm putting in some trick-or-treaters.
Oh, is that what they are?
Yeah, they're
cool.
they're tricking, and well, they're not tricking. They're asking for trick-or-treaters were the ones who went around with those radishes or turnips, and they would either trick you or receive a treat. That was the deal. It was like we're gonna put a curse on you unless you give us some treat. There I'm just laying in like they have a flashlight, so it's kind of where the flashlight's hitting.
That's cool.
All this actually goes away completely in the final painting because I didn't like it. But we're getting to that.
Oh yeah, the people don't last in
Nope.
the final painting.
Mm-mm. I think the composition was getting a little bit too complicated with the house and with the people, and I think really I could have probably split it into two paintings and just kept the bottom and the top, but I ended up just keeping the bottom and not worrying about just keeping the top.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm kind of putting in these little
shadows.
Cool. Yeah. To do that, I just laid in a big spot of kind of a light gradient, and then erased out the gradient where the shadows are. I'm going to go in and darken the shadows a little bit more. To give them a little more oomph. Right now you can hardly see them.
Oh.
I'm like, do I like these people? I don't know. Should they really be there in the first place? No, they shouldn't, because they're going to get cursed by glowing redness.
So who lives in the house?
Yeah, glowing red lives in the house.
Oh.
Glowing red ominousness.
Nice.
Yep.
I feel like there should be alligators in the water.
There could be. There could be anything you want in the water. That's the beauty of a painting. Is you can just think about stuff that could be there. Like there's alligators in the water. Maybe there's like another house off the page.
Mhm.
Who knows? There I'm kind of making a little bit of a vignette on there, just messing with colors. I'm like, oh, what should I do? Oh, what should I do? There I turned it gray to kind of check my values and see if everything's working out.
Mm.
And this is when I realized that that whole bottom section just wasn't working. And I tried to kind of save it, but then I'm just like, ah, screw it. I'm cutting it out.
Wait, how does turning it gray check your values?
Because color can kind of distract you from the underlying value work. So just like by values, I just mean black and white, basically.
Mm.
And what your eye reads is the black and white.
Oh.
That's how you determine things like form and distance and all that stuff. So if you have bad colors over nice values, it doesn't really matter as long as the values are right.
Mm.
But if you have bad values to start, you can't really fix it with color. So checking that the values are real. See there, I even put my signature in, put a border around it and everything, and I'm like, no, nope, it's just not gonna work. So there's half my painting. Whoop. Which is hard to do because like I spent time on that bottom part. I really wanted to keep it,
Mhm.
but sometimes removing stuff makes it look better. In fact, most of the time it does.
Definitely changed the whole look of the painting. Got the little people.
I'm gonna add one little person later on. And I'm like, oh, I want like a car there. Do I want a little dude there? I move him around. I don't know. I just can't decide. There's so many things I could put in. So I'm just kind of fixing the road to fit better with that composition. So the perspective changes a little bit where well, I guess the perspective doesn't really change, but the road raises a bit so that it doesn't, so that it comes towards the viewer a little faster. Laying in a little bit more atmospheric perspective, which I then end up taking out, I think. But yeah, just noodling stuff. I mean, right now, basically, the painting is more or less finished as far as the kind of the mood goes.
Cool.
There, I'm thinking about putting in a truck. It's just like drawing a truck, lines. I'm like, do I want a truck there? I was thinking about having like little people taking goods out of the truck. Maybe they're cursed things that they're moving into the house to do their curses with.
Mhm.
But then I was like, nah, I don't like that truck. That truck can just go away. So then I did end up deciding on a person, and you'll notice here I'm drawing him as being completely white. And that's just so I can see the silhouette better as I paint him, and then I'll go back over him with gray after locking the layer. But yeah, now I'm just kind of laying him in with white so I can kind of see exactly where he goes. And then, because the figure was pretty dark, I boosted the atmospheric perspective behind him a little with a little bit of airbrush. Fangzhu does that a lot. He just slaps down stuff. Then, to make stuff read, he just keeps adding in more and more and more fog. Just piles it on. There I'm adding kind of some of the light that's hitting him from that red glow.
Cool.
Then I add a little bit of a secondary light source hitting his back. A nice little fadey blue. It's not very strong. The figure probably could have read a little bit better if I would have like given him a lighter shirt or made his background lighter. I could have put in a little bit more contrast, but I didn't. I wanted the focus to be more on the house anyway.
I like the kind of green glow though coming up from the
Yeah.
oozy green stuff.
Yeah. The oozy green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's my signature right there. Now I'm just adding a bit of noise to it.
Mm. Cool.
I usually add noise and then enlarge and rotate the layer so that it gets a little bit more variation in it. And then I put it on an overlay layer. And then I take the levels, or take the curves, and I adjust them a little bit because that noise layer tends to mess the values up just a little bit, but you can correct them. Well, thank you, Sarah, for joining me in this art venture.
You're so welcome. Joy. Joy and a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.